Welcome to War 2, Season 25, and I'm up against Noon here, so that pretty much blows. Yeah, they got first place last season, so we know it's going to be a little bit rough, and so I mean the level of the forgiveness for mistakes is extremely low. So we know that going in. Going into this fight, I've never done it before. I really haven't done ebb and flow knockdown very much. Actually, this might be one of the first times I've ever done it. But I knew going into this fight I was going to have 10 parries at max, and even with 10 parries, there's not necessarily going to be 10 parries immediately, because as you get more parries on him, then you reduce the accuracy. So once you hit like 3 or 4, there's a chance that you won't, you know, actually get the parry off. So here I am trying to speed this up as as quickly as I can, and yeah, then I get caught. So I'm like, oh crud. And the one thing I didn't think about was on this is if I wanted to, I could have used the SP1s to knock him down that way, and that would have counted for the ebb and flow. So, but I figured worst case scenario, then I can just take it slow and I'll get him down anyway. So it's only a 5-star, so it was whatever. But one thing that I noticed was on my medium, light, medium combos, the last medium would be an active incinerate there at the beginning, until I guess he went debuff immune, and then it changed. So that was weird. I don't know, like, and then the whole limber aspect, making sure you landed the parry, like, I little bit twitchy of a fight there for me. But this next fight is why I brought Rulk. I figured he would be, plenty safe to do this fight with, and even though it's not a hazard shift, and I don't have suicides on, I figured I'd be fine. Which I kind of am, but I learned quite a bit on this fight. On fighting, Mr. Fantastic on this node. And well, we'll get into it. But one thing that I started with was, which if I fought this again, I would do again, is I saved to my special 3 at the start. Because as long as I don't have a debuff on me, then I know he can't evade. And one thing I forgot to check, and I was going to, is check exactly what percentage his evade is, because you could see he's evading quite a lot. Now, Rulk can get his heat charges one of, a few ways, but the 2 that matter in this fight is either with the SB1 or with the or taking damage, and he gets a heat charge for like every 10% of his health that he's lost. I think it's 10%. It's something like that. So I was going into this fight thinking, like, it wasn't until after I threw it that I really thought about how much damage I'd taken. I was like, oh, well, I hadn't really taken all that much. But now, because I used the special, I'm going to have that, the debuffs on me at all times. So he's always going to have that chance to evade. And as you can see, he evades a crap ton. Like, far more than I thought, because I thought it was, what was I thinking it was? I was thinking it was like 10% per debuff, but, maybe that's accurate, and he's just getting the Black Widow treatment. Like, anyone who's fought Black Widow, and she has like a 3% evade, and she'll evade like 1 out of every 5 hits. It's like, what, the math does not add up in that situation. So, but still, I'm not really too worried about it. I got roughed up a little bit, but at this point it's mostly about just take it slow and just get him down. If nothing else, I can just stick to just hitting him while parried, and not doing anything. And that's kind of where I went to at this point. I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait till I land a parry, and then I'll attack. But as you can see, my damage is pretty well gimped, and I think if I was going to redo this fight over, I would still stick to the special 3 at the start. But then after that, I'd just be throwing SB1s until I've got, more heat charges, because you can tell how much more damage the special 3 does whenever you got, or you can tell how much more your basic attacks do whenever you've got enough heat charges. So it really does add up and matters a lot. So really, my first two fights were kind of my tougher ones. Going into this one, it's Doom versus Vision Aarkus. The rich get richer is a little bit of a concern at the start because it can get a little squirrely, but he's unduped. So I saw that and I was like, well, that pretty much takes away one of the factors of the random. Like he'll purify a debuff at the start of the fight, and then it's kind of random on guessing when exactly the next one will be. So here, I pretty much just threw the SP one, because he was starting to get closer to the SP3, and it gave me enough power gain to get up to the special 3. So now I'm locked in this rotation of just anyone who's fought an Aarkus with Doom knows this rotation. Like, you get to the SP3, and then you kind of shorten your combos a little bit, and, just basically just crush right through him. I left myself kind of open because if he wanted to throw a special 2, I was fine with it, just because it would let me better manage the just keeping him from an SB3. But even with an SB3, it wouldn't have been a big problem. So you can see this fight's, pretty easy. A lot of these fights with Doom, once you get them in the low rotation, it's pretty much over. Most of the time. The next fight you'll see isn't quite that way. And I think we go right into it. So I checked the pause here is because I had to go and check and make sure that OPM One Punch Man right there, it was decided between me or him taking it, and he's the better player, but my Doom was healthy, so he was like, yeah, just go ahead. So that's where the screen recording thing came in. Going into this fight, I've done this before. I've screwed this one up before a lot, really badly, terribly. So one thing I didn't do is I did not throw on Mystic Dispersion on this fight, because that can really screw you up. So I left that off. I did not go with a power back boost, because that can mess you up on the rotation. So my plan on this fight was to start with a parry, and then get the combo, the stagger in, and then I'm just looking for repairs. I'm just gonna be confident in my reparries, and that's all there is to it. So you can see here, just straight into block, right into a reparry. And sometimes my reparry game's a little bit off, but it's like, in this fight, if you don't do the reparries, then and he throws off a special, then he can just get into a chain of specials, and it's just Rip City. it gets really ugly. But you can see here in the Doom cycle, right into my block, just waiting on him, and he just went into a heavy, so I was like, that's fine. But back right into special 3. So everything on this fight is just going perfect. Could have asked for the setup to be better, and it's just real nice to have this fight go so well whenever I've messed it up so badly in the past. One thing you're probably wondering, though, is the reason I'm not triggering Protect is because this was after the boss had been taking it down, so there was no global. That obviously complicates the fight a lot more, and I probably would have used magic for that. So here's the stats. Up to 8 kills now, still no deaths. My overall PR rank in the BG is still 8, and overall in the Alliance is still 18. So, people are doing pretty well this season. no one's tanking it too badly yet, and we'll see where that goes next war. I forgot. We face an easier opponent next war, so that one should be a win. Y'all have a good one, and if you like this one video, like it. Bye.